Thank you so much for sitting down with me, Gary. So the Abilene Community Theatre has an upcoming show. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
This one is just fun. That's what we would do. We are just celebrating these 70 years by going back and doing all shows from the 70s that were big hits in the 70s. And this is one that came over from England. It was a British comedy called Not Now, Darling, which is a crazy farce that is probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen or worked on.
So for someone who might not know what a farce is, can you explain that?
Well, farce is interesting. It's related to comedy, but actually in some ways it's more related to tragedy because it's, people that you know put in situations they can't control. And then the fun comes with them trying to get out of that situation.
So 70 years of the Abilene Community Theatre, that's a long time. What can you tell us about the history?
Well, the history was that, it didn't start where the location we are at now, but then when the fairgrounds moved, the big round building there on Barrel Street became a theater, and then they built the theater next door and they went into that one. And it's been really fun. The first show to ever to perform in that space was Inherit the Wind. And since then they have continually been producing shows, and it's gonna be, which is really fun because 20 years ago they did Not Now, Darling here.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what are you kind of seeing for the future of the Abilene Community Theatre?
Well, it's looking fairly bright. We are working with the city. They're really being helpful, and we're trying to build the community up, build the theater up. And we have announced our season for next year, and we're doing some very fun shows and interesting shows. We took a chance this year, did Equus, which was a little bit of a shock for some people because it's not really a fun show, but it was sort of our meat that we got to play around with, and it was a really good production, and it's just been fun. So I think we're going to grow. We're starting to get more people coming out and auditioning. We're starting to get more volunteers, and I think the theater's going to grow. It needs to. 70 years. It needs to be here for another 70 years. This is part of this community, and that's what it's about.
Yeah, absolutely. So you kind of started talking about people coming up and auditioning. Tell me a little bit about that. Can anyone come audition? Do you need experience?
It is totally, the entire community theater is volunteer based. And so we really encourage people to volunteer, and we encourage people to come and audition. And what's really fun to watch is we have several people in this production that they came and did a show, the best Christmas pageant ever, and they kind of liked it, and they came back and auditioned, and they got cast. And so I can see this love of this experience. It's an experience for them, and they're growing as actors, and I think they'll be auditioning for other shows.
That's awesome. And what time do doors open on Friday for Not Now, Darling?
Not Now, Darling opens, the house opens at 7, and then the show starts at 7:30.
Okay, and if people want information on the theater or maybe future shows, where can they find that?
Well, they can find it online, and we have a website, the Abilene Community Theatre, and they also can buy tickets online.
Awesome. Well, that's all the questions I have. Thank you for sitting down with me this morning.
Thank you.